Hi everybody, this is Tanya from S19E9. I am going to review season 19, episode 9 of Sister Wives. This one's called Baptism by Fire. Let me get my notes out. I did a few here. I actually found this episode pretty interesting. It has some good content in there. I wish they would have expanded a little bit more on a few things. First part of it goes into where Janelle, she had just talked to Cody last episode about Coyote Pass, and Cody kept trying to defer to their relationship and things, and Janelle's like, our relationship, there's no more relationship, husband and wife kind of deal. I want to know what's going on with the property and with my money, right? So Janelle, she's thinking like, is Cody and Robin going to screw us out of our rightful shares of this land? And so she's like, well, if I'm going to get screwed out, Mary's going to get screwed out for sure, because she is the least favorite wife of Cody, right? Or was. And so she's like, well, I'm going to go over to Mary and see what Mary thinks about this. And maybe they can join forces and have somebody back each other up if Cody tries something on them. So she goes to Mary's house and they talk about Coyote Pass. Janelle wants to give Mary the heads up about her concerns and getting it paid off. And I guess there's like 75 days, they say, until it needs to be paid off, or they could lose the whole thing. So they signed this weird loan. Like, they could talk about balloon payments and these kinds of things. I'm not finance at all, but it sounds like if you don't make this big payment by this certain day, then you lose the whole thing. So I kind of thought about like a car, if you don't make a payment in 3 months or whatever, then they'll come and repossess it. So that's kind of how it sounds to me. And then I think Janelle says that they haven't seen each other in a year, so then it would kind of be odd if you don't really communicate with each other, and then all of a sudden you're like, what's going on? What's so important that you need to talk to me now, right? So and then it flashes over to Cody and Robin's kids shoveling snow together. I think Ariella like tossed some snow in his face, and he didn't get too upset about that. They were kind of playing, and then Ariella like swings the shovel around and hits his truck, and he just like got so upset about it, but he was like holding it in so that he didn't explode into rage, I guess, for Ariella. And he's like, I had to be careful because I didn't want to lose my temper and make it to where this wasn't fun anymore and she wouldn't want to be around me. So maybe Cody is learning to control his temper, to control what he says and does around his children, and to Ariella's benefit. And I hope that continues, and I hope he continues to be kind to her, if none of the rest of the grown-up kids, but at least to the young ones. Then it goes back to Janelle and Mary. Janelle says how Mary is loyal to a fault, and she's like, I'm not comparing her to a dog. Some people are like, oh, Janelle called Mary a dog. She wasn't calling Mary a dog. She was just saying Mary is so loyal, like a dog is loyal to their owner or their person. That's Mary. And if you even remember, was it a few episodes or last season? No, it was a few episodes ago, I think this season, right? Cody was like, she is not loyal. Mary has never been loyal. I don't want to be married to her, and I wish I never married her, right? He said that. And then I believe I had said, if you look back in that one season where he got all his wives' necklaces or pendants for their was it Valentine's or something, and he adapted each one to how he thought of each wife, and his that he gave Mary was literally the Latin term for loyalty, fidelis, right? Fidelis is the Latin term for loyalty. He gave that to Mary. He said, she is my most loyal wife. So he is delusional, and he has he doesn't remember. I don't know what his deal is, but I think he's just so angry that he's just making shit up. So I think that's what it is. But Janelle tells Mary, she's like, well, how are you doing with the breakup? And Mary's like, I'm hanging in there basically. I'm sad, but trying to understand and all these things. She's divorced him for sure. She's out of it, but she's still like sad about it. And then Janelle tells Mary, she's like, yeah, we pretty much said we're done. There's no marital relationship there, so it's kind of dissolving. And so Mary is like, well, how do you feel? And Janelle's like, I'm at peace about it. And Mary's like, I just feel kind of weird about it. I don't know what to think, basically. She's just still not through the whole trauma of it, or she's not to the acceptance part of it, because I think of the Kubler-Ross, it's not only for accepting death, but it can also be for accepting like a loss of a job or a loss of a relationship or something like that. So it's about loss more than a specific kind of loss. So I think Mary's at I think she goes through it. I think she's been angry. I think she's been sad. I think she's been like shocked. I'm sure she's tried to bargain with God at some point or another, but she's just not quite to that acceptance yet. I think she knows, but it's just not like sunk into her heart that this is the way it is. But anyway, Mary will get through it. It will just take some time. Janelle was talking about Cody being estranged from his kids. I think that was the majority of his kids. I think that was she was on the couch saying that. And then she talks about the note. Yeah, if Coyote Pass isn't paid in 75 days, they'll lose it. And Mary's like, I'm not really worried about it. I think it'll be fine. She thought, and then she was talking about how she thought that Janelle was the one handling all the finances. Like all this time. They were married to Cody for 30 years. And, 32, I think. 30, 28, something like that. Like every couple of years, he got married to somebody there for a while. So around 30 years, they've all been married to him. And all this time, apparently, Mary thought that Janelle had control of the whole family finances. She didn't have control of it. She was like doing the books. She was accounting for it. And then I'm sure like she was like, hey, Cody, we need to pay this. Hey, Cody, what are we doing about that? And that's where Cody's like, it's not your business what I do with it. You just do the math, and I'm doing the money shaking. So that's what Janelle is trying to get across to Mary, is that it has never been her figuring out who gets what. It's always been Cody. And then Janelle's just doing the math part. So Janelle also says, and I mean, come on, straight up. If Janelle was the one making the decisions with the money, and knowing Janelle and how frugal she is, she says we would be in a very different position right now if I was handling the finances. And that's 100% true. We all know that. So Mary, so she's like, so Janelle is like trying to tell her, maybe we need to get somebody to represent our interests. Do we need to get a lawyer together? And Mary's like, why? I don't think they'll screw us over. And she's like, do you think they'll screw us over? Robin and Cody's going to screw us over? And Janelle's like, yeah, I'm kind of worried about that because, Cody is a selfish person, and he thinks the whole family was about just him, and that he deserves these things because he's the one that worked so hard, but he had all these wives helping him, and he doesn't want to acknowledge that. He wants the funds to himself. So he's very selfish. He's very greedy. And to let that much money go, I think they would be best to get a lawyer and make sure that they get what is rightful to them. Mary's like, but you have my back. And Janelle's like, yeah, I'll have your back. I want to make sure, the whole purpose of Janelle going over there is to make sure that Mary gets her for a portion. Otherwise, she'd be like, Mary can figure it out, and she wouldn't warn her. she would just be like, whatever happens, happens. But instead, she went over to Mary, even with all their background and being, you know, having not fights, but like arguments and not liking each other and all of that, the jealousies and all the things they used to go through. Janelle didn't want Mary to lose out on what was hers. So she respected Mary enough to go over there and say, make sure you protect your interests, because I don't think these people are going to. Yeah, so she says no, but she'll watch out for Mary's back and make sure they aren't screwed over, basically. Then Mary starts talking about Cody's creative finances, and she talks about, you know, I just figure, you know, sometimes you have to rob Peter to pay Paul. And I think the context can be different for different people on that phrase. Like, some people are like, well, it's illegal to pay rob Peter to pay Paul. But the way I see it, and I think the way that that Mary sees it is, you're not like robbing them. You're not like stealing or taking money forever away from this place. But what you do is, like, you move this money. Like, I was paying on this and we were doing really good, but I have some time to where I can make up this money over here. But this one, if I don't pay it right now, I'm going to lose it. So I'm going to put this money over here, and then I'm going to bust my tail to make sure that I can pay this back out of this pot of money. I think that's what she's meaning. And I think that's what she means Cody is doing. I don't think he's literally like robbing somebody to pay somebody else. But too, if you look at it that way, one of the definitions is like, I owe this person money, so I take out a loan from somewhere else so that I can pay that until I can make enough money to pay both, basically. So that could be it too. I don't think he was doing anything illegal. I think it was just taking money from a different pot or a different place that they normally put money and putting it over here for a temporary solution until they can pay both. That's my personal thought. And I don't like Cody, so I'm not really taking up for him, but I think that's the case. And it was kind of funny because Mary, basically, she's trusting Cody to, quote, be a gentleman. And I'm like, when has Cody ever been a gentleman? In the last 5 years at least, right? Like, in the beginning, he may have been somewhat of a gentleman in the first few seasons, but he is definitely not a gentleman with these three, the OG three ladies. He is not a gentleman with these people. He may be with Robin because Robin holds him accountable, and Robin won't pay attention to him and give him the transactional things that he wants if he's mean to her. So he's got to tiptoe around Robin and keep Robin happy. So he's probably a gentleman to her, but to everybody else, he's not going to be, because he's still angry and bitter over it. So Mary's like, I don't want to be the bitter ex. Cody is the bitter ex. Point blank. And then Janelle is kind of like, oh boy, I went over and I told Mary, you know, tried to warn her that this might happen, and I'm kind of concerned now that I told Mary this. I hope she doesn't turn around and go over to Cody and Robin and tell them my concerns and everything I've said, so that when I go to get help, then I'm already messed up because this person's going to speak up against me. So then it would be all three of them against me. So I hope that didn't happen. Hopefully we will see, or Janelle will tell us how it worked out. That would be cool. The next segment goes to where Christine and David are looking at houses up in Utah to buy together. Some people were like, oh, who cares? This is boring. I think looking at houses is fascinating, because I want to look at houses now or soon, you know, and I like to see what's out there, what different people like, what's available, and maybe like sometime when I buy a new house, what I'm going to want, because, you know, they have all new things out right now. Christine's like, I need 2 ovens. So some of the places she was looking at had 2, some of them had 1, and she's like, no, I definitely need 2. I definitely need a big kitchen, because that, like, when you see Christine's portion of the show, a lot of it is centered around cooking and around the kitchen, and her kids and her and Janelle's kids even participating in cooking and making things in the kitchen. And that's where Christine excels, and she's an amazing mother and person to teach them and share with them, and it's all like that kitchen comfort type stuff. So I liked it. Christine mentions when she was, so basically, and we saw this in 2013, when they were building the houses in Las Vegas, and I was surprised. I think it was like season 6 or 7 by the time they built. I thought it was earlier than that, but I looked back and I was like, it was like season 6 or 7 before they built the houses in Las Vegas, and they were there in season 2. So it's so crazy. But I remember Christine would ask his opinion, and he was so busy worried about Robin and actually Mary at the time, because remember, Mary's like, I want a wet bar. I don't care if I have something, but I want a wet bar. And so Cody's like, yeah, whatever. And then a lot of the focus was on, like, why does Mary have to have a big house and stuff like that. And Christine seemed like she was over there doing things on her own to me. I thought that back then. And Cody's like, oh no, I helped her. I don't know what she's talking about. I was absolutely involved with those conversations. And I think what he thinks was like giving his opinion and what he would like to have in Christine's house for the couple to enjoy. I think Christine came up with these things, and Cody just like, yep, that's fine. I don't think he really was that invested in the things that Christine wanted for their home. So I just kind of eye rolled when he's like, nope, I helped with it. I don't know what she's talking about. She likes to pretend that I did nothing for her. We saw it, Cody. You didn't do a whole lot for Christine. Christine, anytime she's like speaking up and she's like, I need this, he would get mad at her and make her feel bad about herself. So I could see why eventually she just stopped asking, or stopped, trying to get him to help her, and just did it on her own. And same with the other 2 ladies that eventually left. David, and starts meeting some of Janelle's kids, like Gabe, and Gabe is like, kind of joking with them, and they seem like they're getting along, and then they seem like they like him, and he's fitting in pretty well. David's not real. He talks, and he talks about his life and different things, but he's not real. He's more relaxed when he talks. He doesn't get real excited, or he doesn't get pressure to speak or anything like that. So he's pretty chill, I would say. So I think that is more acceptable, or whatever you want to say, to the kids. He's not threatening at all. Cody, so I guess they start talking about Cody and Robin. They told Gwen that they were not going to go to the wedding shower, bridal shower, and then like that day or last minute they changed their mind and decided to go. And it kind of, like, I watched it the first time and I didn't catch it, but I kind of reviewed it a second time when I was making notes, and it seemed like Cody did go over to the shower more to meet David than to support Gwen and Bea, which I think is sad. I think he should have gone over there primarily for Gwen and Bea, and then secondary to meet David. So I think that is a shame that he was more worried about who's stepping in on his territory than his child. But that's how I took it. I'm not in Cody's world, so I don't know what he was actually thinking, but that's what it looked like to me. And then Cody mentions, like, I don't think me and Robin are going to enjoy being here or something like that. So he's already like being negative, Nelly, and of course, if you're already anticipating not having fun, you're not going to. They were talking about having tattoos at the shower, and Cody talks about having a phobia, and then like Christine's like, I'm braver than you because I'm going to go get a tattoo. So I thought that was kind of funny. She didn't say that, but that's how it kind of came across to me. Mary tells Christine, oh, Mary and David meet, and when she's basically asking like, how did you meet and how'd that go and whatever, and Christine's like, oh, we actually met online through a dating app and blah blah blah, and Mary's like, you might want to be careful meeting people online, as a joke. And that was pretty funny that she could, you know, after the trauma that she went through with the catfishing years ago, it was really fun that she was able to kind of poke fun of it or make fun of it. But then she also says like, it's awesome that Christine's moving on, and I hope she's happy, and I hope it's not too fast. But she wasn't ready to date at that time, but she thinks that eventually she'll be able to find somebody herself. So, and I think that's true too. I think it will take time, but if she's interested in finding her person, I hope she does find her person, and I think she can. Christine and David, they're talking about getting matching tattoos. Christine was talking about that. And then I think Gwen was asking Cody, like, are you going to go get a tattoo? And he's like, I don't think so. And he's like, are you and Bia getting matching tattoos? And Gwen was like, we're getting tattoos in the same place, but they're not matching. They're not the same. And Cody's like, oh, well, matching tattoos are cheesy anyway. And I think he had heard Christine say that she was going to get matching one with David. And of course, he's got to make some kind of derogatory or, you know, some statement saying that he doesn't approve of it. He's just petty. Anyway, so I was happy to see Mary and Christine trying to support each other, and, you know, being like, it's going to be okay. We'll separately get through this, but I wish the best for you. So they were both like getting along there. And then David and Robin get to meet, Cody and Robin get to meet David. So when I first saw this, and even like the second time I kind of watched it, when they first are introduced, Cody to me looks like he's like trying to size David up, but he also looks intimidated. Like his face turns red, like he's he's anxious or something. But he looks intimidated to me, or some kind of upset over it. But he gets very quiet and red-faced, and he listens to David talking about his background and where he comes from and his kids and his grandkids and all these things. And Cody doesn't say much. Robin interjects some things here and there. And at the time, Cody and Robin are holding McKelty's twins, which are Ace and Archer, and while they're listening to David. And then Cody talks about how, like, I think he was on the couch, and he's like, yeah, I'm there listening to this with my shy, pretty wife, and we have a special bond. But so she's not shy with me, but she's shy with everybody else. And he's just weird. I'm glad she's putting up with him, I think. And if she ever doesn't want to, I hope she runs fast. But I really don't care for Cody, and I really get nauseated when he talks about how pretty and shy and special and all the things Robin is. And it's almost like he's poking and saying that the other three were not like that. They were all special in their own ways. They were all different. Robin is different than all three of them. But that doesn't mean they're not special, and that doesn't mean he couldn't have had a special connection to the three of them. But it didn't work out, and Cody just needs to stop saying bad things about the moms of his children. And I think also that would go a long way to repairing his relationships with his children if he would stop making comments like he does about their moms. So Cody, if you're listening, stop talking about the moms. Otherwise, your kids ain't gonna like you. Okay, and then when they're meeting, Cody's like, so I heard you've been holding my grandbabies. I mean, Kelty's like, oh, not just that, but me and Mom went to get our, was it nails done or salon or something, and he babysitted them while we were gone. And so Cody, again, turns red face, and what can he say? Because I doubt Cody has ever babysat the grandbabies. We know what happened when he babysitted the kids when all the wives went away and Truly got so sick and ended up in the hospital and having kidney injury. And I think she had to have CRRT and all this kind of thing. So we know Cody can't do it. But David was able to manage these little tiny babies by himself. Cody was focused on David conversing and making eye contact with Robin. And my thought, and he was like kind of upset about it. Like, yeah, he was looking at her like she's hot or something. And I'm over here like, what are you looking at? He didn't say that, but that's how I'm interpreting it. But I thought, well, yeah, of course he's going to look at Robin. Robin was actually making some comments. Whenever Cody made comments, David looked over there at him, but Robin was talking more than Cody. His shy wife was talking more than him. And she's also prettier than Cody, so even if I didn't want to insult Cody by looking at his wife, I would still look at his wife because I would rather not look at Cody. So I don't blame David for looking at Robin. And I don't think anything in David's head was like, oh, she's hot or anything like that. I think he was just looking at her and having a conversation and trying to be engaged as much as possible with the little conversation they were having. So, and he's trying to accommodate, and be kind and generous and those kind of things, things that Cody doesn't quite understand. So, Aspen then pops in on the, in the video and talks about the importance of Cody meeting David because David's going to spend the majority of time with Truly, who is still underage, and so he will want to make sure as a good parent that the person he's going to spend so much time with is a good person, trustworthy person, and somebody that's stable. So hopefully that's Cody's thought. I wouldn't put it past him to just be like, who's my competition or who's better than me because Christine left me. But that should be what he's focused on, is the safety part of David being around Truly. Cody, oh yeah, they make a comment like, I think David was talking about like, oh yeah, I'm taking care of these kids and those kids, and he's like, I really like my grandkids because, I can take care of them and love them and stuff, and then at the day I can send them home and then I can go do my own thing, right? So he's like, I really like grandkids better than my kids because, you're there 24/7 with your regular kids when they were little. And then Cody's like, well, I like my 7-year-old kid better than these little kids I'm holding right now. She's a lot of fun. And I kind of have a couple thoughts about that. One was also the Cody couldn't take care of little babies without somebody being there. I think it would scare him, or he would neglect them and they would be in danger. So having a 7-year-old that can like communicate their needs and even maybe go get their own stuff, like if they need a drink of water, they can go get their own drink of water and not have to tell him. So he can be more laid back with a 7-year-old maybe than the wee little babies. But yeah, it's too much work for Cody to take care of little babies, change their diapers and feed them and those kinds of things, I think. Cody talks about Christine. Oh, he's like, yeah, she was swinging on David's arms, and he's like, it was kind of so weird. And I've seen like other people in other YouTube channels commenting on like, oh yeah, we get it, Christine, lovey-dovey on David, whatever. So I look back on it and I'm not sure. Like, one part I kind of wondered if she was hanging on David because Cody was there, and Cody is traumatizing. She spent so much time with Cody's bad opinions and ill will and treatment toward her for so many years that she has this safety net, or this person that she's comfortable with right there, that can kind of be her security blanket. So if you think of like kids that have been traumatized, or kids that are afraid to be around strangers or something like that, they're going to cling or hold on or touch some kind of physical connection to the person that they are safe with. So I felt at first like that's what Christine was doing. And then like a couple minutes later, she like rests her head on David's shoulder, and David mentioned it too, but then I was like, oh, maybe she's bored with the conversation with Cody and she's ready for him to go away. Or yeah, I just thought that was kind of funny after I watched it the second time, thinking that she's just like, or she could be like, look, Cody, he loves me. He lets me hang on him where you wouldn't let me show affection in public. So that could be it too. It's really hard to know, but I think she was kind of showing Cody that she doesn't need him, and he didn't do a good job being her husband too. So and he felt like meeting David with Christine were kind of cringy. Cody did. So I could see where he would feel kind of cringy because he's avoiding conflict and he doesn't want to be around somebody that's doing a better job with his ex-wife than he did, probably. I don't know. But tell me what you think about that. Christine, then at the end, she talks about being frustrated because the focus of the wedding shower is supposed to be about Gwendolyn and Bia, which I said before, right? And it ended up being more focused on Cody and Robin meeting David, and Cody and Robin being there and trying to kind of cater to them and make them feel comfortable and those kinds of things. But I hope that I think Cody did go over there and talk to Gwendolyn just like one-on-one, and Bia came up to them. They were talking about the tattoos, but I think Gwendolyn probably felt good about him coming to support her, and I hope that that's really why he came, was more to support her and not just because he wanted to see what David was like. Both are very important for him to do, for him to support Gwen and to meet David. I do wish that Cody would have reached out to Christine before and like met David somewhere else before they went over there to Gwen's party, because that would have made sure those focuses were in the right place. But this is Cody's show, TLC's decisions, and we get what we see. And that was pretty much all for that episode. It sounds like some pretty interesting things are coming up next week with the next episode, so can't wait for that. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you for watching my channel. I hope I'm interesting to you, but those are my opinions and my thoughts. So you guys have a good week, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.